Good morning, replay crew. Wherever you're watching, good morning, good evening, good night. This is a recording, but it's still relevant, so you can always watch. Today is June 19th, which is Juneteenth, a new holiday from a few years ago, or started a few years ago, as being observed. And it's a federal holiday here in the U.S., so there's no work for me today, which is good. Nice day off. I'm not quite sure if I get paid for this holiday or not, since I just started on March 18th. So it's exactly a month later. And March, I think, was 30 days. So I don't even know if I'm after, if it, and I actually started working the 21st, but my hire date was the 18th. So I don't think I'm going to get paid for this day. But I worked the day before, day after. I'll let you guys know. But it's day off, which is nice in the middle of the week. I started, as you know, March 18th was my official hire date, but orientation was on Saturday was the 18th. Orientation was on Tuesday. It was going to be on Monday, but that got switched over because the Monday place was further away from my house, and then Tuesday was closer, so they switched me. There's this thing where if you go beyond 50 miles, hi Jess, yes, I have my coffee here. It's not hot chocolate, it's coffee. But they have this thing where if you go 50 miles from your house, they'll pay you the reimbursement of a hotel if it's on the government rate, as well as not just the reimbursement of the hotel, but also the miles. So for my first day, they said, well, we don't want to do that since there's a closer place, which isn't over 50 miles, it's 32 miles or whatever, 32, 42, whatever it is. I can't remember. I'm not in front of a computer I'm in front of a phone, but I'm on the live stream. Okay, cool. You're listening. Awesome. Well, now, how'd I get sideways? I just press this and then it puts me sideways. Maybe if I fix it like this. There we are. Okay, I'm not gonna click on the text because it messes up. Yes, of course. You're welcome. So, the way I originally applied for the job was through their website, USPS.com. There's an area that says careers. They had several different careers positions available. Yes, I'm live. And I originally did an application for one job that I decided I didn't really want to do, which was a city carrier assistant. And the thing with city carrier assistant is you're outside all day. First, you're sorting the mail to take outside, and then you're outside, and then you're putting it in all these boxes, and you're in a uniform, and people outside, and this is in the city. People outside see you in a uniform. You have the homeless, you have the crazies, you have all sorts of people that you run into. Um, and you're going in and out of these tiny little buildings, or some are large buildings, depending. But I really didn't. I really didn't. I decided after I applied, I really didn't want that job, and they a few like 2 weeks later, they sent like, oh, you we're interested. You're not hired yet, but fill out this information. So I filled it out because I just wanted them to have my information, which I found out they have to do a background check. And if you that they only send that background check info. Hi Noah. Morning. So they only send out that background email once every, in a 90-day window. So if you apply for another job in the 90 days, your application is going to get lost if you didn't fill out the background email. This is all stuff I read online. So I filled it out anyway, even though I didn't want the city carrier assistant position. I said, no, this ain't for me. But I filled it out anyway. And then when it came time to saying yes, you want the job or no, you don't, I declined that position. Then I kept looking at UPS.com under the careers tab, seeing what else came. I saw one which was like upstate, like in the same town as my parents have a house. So I applied for there. I didn't hear anything from there. Then I saw yes, I'm explaining from start to finish. So then that one didn't pan out. They never got back to me because they worked through a list. It's USPS.com is the consumer site, the customer site. The .gov is for internal purposes, like for when I go, if I'm logging into a database at work, it's a .gov. If it's an email address, it's a .gov. Yeah, I didn't know exactly either. So if you go to USPS.gov, it'll switch to .com. It's very, very weird. I know. Do I get it? No, but that's just how it is. So I applied to a place where my parents have their country house. I could live up there. I figured, I was, try branch out than just the city jobs. Then I saw another one, which was like nearby, which was a career position. I was like, oh, wow. So I applied to that. Of course, it's a career position, so I didn't hear anything. It pays higher than a temporary position, which I hear pretty much everyone, as long as you do your job and you show up to work, they'll convert you to a career. But I was trying to save like 6 months to a few years of being non-career. But of course, I never heard anything from there. So then another one came up. That was also another few miles away from my parents' house. For a job that I was interested in. They were the ones after the city carrier assistant. I was applying to all, what's it called? PSE, which is a postal support employee. There's two types of postal support employees. There's one that works in the window at the post office. They also do sorting the mail in the morning, for the PO boxes and whatnot. And so they mostly do the window. People buying stamps, PO boxes, renewals of PO boxes, postage, envelopes, greeting cards, that sort of thing. Then there's also the one who's at the plant, basically sorting all day, doing a lot of sorting the mail or sorting packages. Also, you sort packages at the window too. That's what I also sort packages and mail, but it's primarily window. So then I saw another job for the city. There was one in Long Island City, Queens, which it's by the subway, it's probably like 30 minutes. But then if it's in the middle of the night, it's like an hour, which I wasn't too thrilled with that position, because taking this in the city, they could have you work all crazy hours. And taking the subway at crazy hours might not be the best idea, but during the daytime, it's relatively safe. At 2 or 3 in the morning, I don't know. That's when it gets a bit crazy, in my opinion. But so, and I couldn't do Ubers, every day there. It would be unfortunate. You like waste half your pay just on Ubers. So that's what happened there, and that was only posted 3 days on the internet. I applied within those 3 days. I never heard from them, but I did hear from one of the jobs I applied upstate, and then I had the problem with the I already yeah done. Oh yeah, I done that commute back. Oh 07 probs with the which line is working 7 and E. Yeah, you could be waiting an hour or who knows how long. And now in oh 07 it was probably safer than now. It's like it's just gotten too crazy. Uh, Not too many people with mental health issues, and the city's not helping them. It's just crazy. So yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't really thrilled with doing the one in Long Island City, Queens, because it would require the subway ride, and who knows what time they'd want me to work. But then I got a part-time job up here in upstate New York uh, at the Postal Service. And what happened with that is, since I already filed my background check, I had to let them know that, hey, you already have my background check for another job. And it's like you're hoping they read your emails. You're like sending emails to like your postmaster. They never respond. Turns out my postmaster was away on a special working assignment. So I guess she saw it and passed it on. Um, it was like the last minute, down to the wire, that they emailed me saying, "Okay, you can go for you're clear. You can go for fingerprints." And since I applied for a job upstate and not in the city, and I was at the city at the time, they wanted me to go upstate for the fingerprints. So they gave me a whole choice of them. So I picked the closest one, which that I can commute to without having to use a car, because I wanted to just get it out of the way. I didn't want to go all the way upstate just to do fingerprints. So I went as close to the city as possible. And that was an ordeal in itself, with Google Maps messing up, um, telling me it was a mile away and it was on another side of the road. And I ended up having to take the bus back, and it was just a nightmare. But I left plenty of time so I wouldn't have any issue. So I was on time. I was early still with all that snafu. Then a few days later, they said, "Okay, you can have orientation at the same place you did fingerprints." I'm like, "Great, that's kind of far from. If I'm going to be living upstate, that's close to the city. That's like, can you put me up a hotel? Because it says here you can." They said, "No, Tuesday. Come Tuesday instead. It's somewhat closer, so we don't have to give you a hotel." Great. Okay, fine. Whatever. So it delays of the day. Instead of Monday, it's Tuesday. I figured I figured it was orientation a few days. No, it was just one day. Then they had me start working at my post office before I went to training, which they're not supposed to do that, but they wanted to show me what's what, even though there was not much I could do. I couldn't help people at the window. I really wasn't much help, but they wanted me to get familiarized with the area, which that was cool. And hey, they want to pay me to be there, fine. So then I did orientation. That's 7 days, and on the seventh day is an exam. And since I was hired to do be a window clerk, I had to pass that exam. It was no like, oh, you can work at the plant. No, you're hired for the window, so you got to pass this exam. If you don't pass the exam, you don't have a job. That's a bit stressful. Knowing you have to pass. There's no ifs or buts. You have to pass. The book is like this thick. It's like 400 pages. 400 pages, and you got to memorize it. Oh, by the way, you can't take the book home with you. You can't take your notes home with you. It has to stay here in class until you pass the exam. And only after you pass the exam, you can take your notes. But the book and any handouts we give you, that stays with us for life. We're not giving it to you. We don't want you to post the stuff on the internet, because the stuff on the internet is wrong as is. So we don't want you to post any more wrong info on the internet. You cannot post the exam questions online, period. So guys, don't ask me what the questions are. I can tell you everyone has different exam. And then on top of that, each exam, they focus on questions. Everyone has like a concentration on questions different from everyone else. Like I can tell you, mine dealt mostly with international and money orders. Is that right? Yeah, international. I got a bunch of international questions and money orders, I think. No, not international. I had a lot on ground. That's right, ground. I had some international, but mostly it was ground shipping. Domestic ground, which they call it retail ground, but the exam is on retail ground, except they don't offer retail ground anymore. They offer ground advantage. Don't ask me why. It is what it is. So they're training you on stuff that no longer exists, which is really confusing. So then after that, and then that course just taught you terminology, basically. There was like some role playing of being a customer and being the employee at a fake window that had they had the scanners and the POS system and everything, but where I'm going, it's manual, so it didn't really help much at all. I'm starting to get the hang of it, but it's really weird. But that's just how it is. So then after that, basically, I had a week of training, 4 days of training, and I'm in the 4 days. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday this week, there is no training because of the holiday. So I'm off today. Yay, I'm off. And I'm starting to get the hang of it, but yesterday we got rushed at the end because a whole bunch of customers came in at the last minute. Not a whole bunch of 3 came at the last minute, so it delayed us closing out. And the trainer, he was a bit rushed because he had something he had to do after work. So yeah, it was just a fiasco. So that's where I am present day, and there's a lot to learn. And I wish they'd just print out like a sheet, a piece of paper, a sheet, telling you like a punch list, like a checklist. Here's what you gotta do in the morning: A, B, C, D, and E. Like just one line sentence, just to jot my memory what it is. But of course, they say, yeah, we should have it. Yeah. Okay, so where is it? No one seems to have it. So that's what I kind of need, like a checklist, and just work off the checklist. When I was working at Board of Elections to do poll site as a poll site inspector, or clerk or whatever, they had a checklist of things. They had like a whole list just to work you through what you're supposed to do when you open and close the polls, and it's like a little flyer. It was great. It told you exactly what you needed to do, but we don't have it here. At least they say they have it, but I've yet to see it. And I really wish they'd show it to me so I can use that as like a guide. other than that, it's good. I kind of wish I had an automatic instead of, or RSS is what they call it, instead of a manual office. Of course, it's so much easier, less, everything's streamlined. Whereas a manual, you got to add all these things at the end of the night. You got to do the accounting, and that's a bit intimidating. And the instructor's like, "Oh, that's the easiest thing." It seems the most complicated. So I don't know. With numbers, right away, numbers scare me. You know. So that's and I don't know. He finds it easy. When I see numbers, I get flustered, and I'm like, this should be. It seems easy, but I don't know. Maybe it's the way he's explaining it isn't that easy. The way it was explained to me earlier seemed a little bit more easy. That's, I don't know, but I feel like he's making it even more complicated. It's like when someone shows you one way, you like the first way, and then someone shows you a second way, and you're like, huh? It's like you're trying to confuse me, aren't you? But that's, I don't know. Everyone has different ways of doing the same thing, so that's kind of it. And here we are in this crazy heat wave. It's like it's 9:50. I'm already needing to turn on the AC. But that's that. So tomorrow I have work. Today I'm off. I don't know what I want to do today. I got up early because the heat woke me up, and plus I'm on this early schedule now. It's amazing. It's like I did like a 180. I used to go to bed at 3 a.m. I'm dead sleep at 3 a.m. now, but now it's like I'm in bed by like 11 or 12. You're still holding out without it, but you keep your windows closed and blinds closed. Yeah. Well, I have the window open a little bit. Not window open. I have the curtains open a little bit. Just because it's nice weather, you get the nice little white background, but it looks nice in person. I like looking at the nature. Yeah, exactly. Just to let a little air in. Yeah, I should, but I don't. So I don't know. I might go for a walk a little bit later. It just gets so damn hot, and that's basically in a nutshell of what's going on the past few days. Even though it took me 20 something minutes to say, but that's, well, more just cause my bathroom. I'm afraid of it getting too damp. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's been a month. No, I did the test. I passed. I, I forgot to mention it, I guess. Yeah, I did the test. I passed. And then they set me up with another week of training, which is 4 days. I did 2 days already of the on the job training. And out of the 8 people who were taking that exam, that test, I think 7 of us passed. I think one person failed, but I'm not quite sure. What happened last week on Tuesday? Not yesterday. The Tuesday before. was the last day of the that classroom instruction. And the way they called us in one by one well, actually, we're at the exam site, and the woman proctoring the exam said, "I'm going to call your name one by one, following, starting with the alphabetized last name, and I'll just check you in to the exam, and then you start right away, and it's timed from when you start." So I said, "Okay, it's up to 2 hours, but you probably don't need the full 2 hours, but take as much time as you need. Don't rush. You can take the full 2 hours, but don't go over, because then your saved answers won't count. So you got to make sure you submit it before 2 hours." I said, "Okay, cool." So I'm the second one. Yeah, Roxanne, you're gonna have to watch the replay, because I explained a whole bunch of it. I'm just finishing a little bit of it. So the exam I had to pass, and at the end of the exam, by one, once we told her we were done, she'd tell us to wait in the waiting room, and I was the second to last person, and because I took my time. There was like a way of saving the questions. It's 100 questions. I saved like 20 of them, and then most of the 20 I saved were very easy. There was like two that tripped me up a lot. I can't remember what they were, but it was some silly thing. I felt like the first there was like four multiple choice four, so like two were just obviously the wrong answer, and two it was like 50-50 on. But long story short, eventually the last person finished. That last person actually passed, but besides the point. She called us. She said, "Okay, I'm going to call you guys in alphabetically, by last name, individually. So once I'm done, with each person, I'll send you in one by one." So the first person went in, and out of 8 people, I was the second to go in by alphabetized last name. And she calls my name, and I said, "Yes, I'm right here." She's like, "You know what? I don't have all day. You know, I, all you guys passed." So I'm thinking maybe the first person didn't. I don't know. Okay, Roxanne, did they ask a lot of questions about the postal system? Yeah, they asked a lot, 100 questions, but some of them were repeats. One specific question, they asked me like 6 times, 5 or 6 times. But yeah, there was a lot of questions. You had a book that was like 400 pages, and I couldn't take it home. I couldn't study it at home. So yeah, but I did pass, and now I'm in my. I'm not at my post office right now. I'm at a training post office. Training me for 4 days. So I did 2. They have another 2. At the end of those 2 days, I guess I start being postmaster. Well, acting postmaster, because there's no one else there. It's a small post office. It's only open 4 hours a day. And then I'll get a few more hours elsewhere eventually once I get comfortable. They'll have more trainings. Supposedly there's a training on how to clean. So they don't want to mix chemicals, you know. But so yeah, that's. But I really gotta try and convert to full time so that I can start building a pension. But I figured just to. Hi, David. Thanks. I figure just get in the jobs. Get the job, learn the job, and eventually they'll convert you to full time, to a career. Yeah, I switched because I wasn't making any money. I was losing money. Towards the end, I was actually spending more than I was making. So that's why I left. If a job goes south, you got to do something. And I didn't really want to stay in the same career because I still would have had to start all over again, owning a business. A real estate agent, they're working for themselves, so there's no hourly, or there are like on-site leasing agents. I tried to do that, but I applied to several places, but none of them worked out. They have like every real estate agent seems wants to work on site because they're guaranteed an income. So for every position there was like 100 other applicants, or 1,000 applicants, who knows. So I had to just try switching careers. So that's what happened. And I figured, take something, even if it's part-time, get your feet wet. Eventually they're gonna put you into full-time, because they know no one's gonna last part-time forever. That's impossible, you know. But yeah, it's tight part-time. It's tight. With money, spending more money than you can make can be okay. The government seems to be doing good at it. Yeah, really. That it only goes for so long, then you get run into a problem. So no, I wasn't making anything. It was like I was spending everything on advertising and then some, and you know, and there just wasn't enough listings. And listings they were giving me weren't the listings that people wanted, and I could see they weren't. So yeah, I had to get out of there. I could have switched to another company, but I was just done. With the it was just too much. It was just way too much to be on that hamster wheel. I like at the end of the day, I don't have to answer my phone. I don't have clients calling me at all hours of the day and night. I'm done. I don't have to keep looking at the phone saying, "Oh, this one's gonna call me anytime. I have to be available." This. That's just too much. Too much. You know. So I like where once I'm done, I'm done. You know. Hourly, you clock in. There's no real official clock in, but it's when you're on the clock, you're on the clock. When you're not, you're off. I kind of like that idea. That I missed. I used to work as an employee, and now I'm back as an employee. But instead of private sector, it's with the government. So that's that's why I did it. It's hard to make it where you live. If you make under 80K, you go live in poverty. Well, I'm not in the city anymore. I'm in upstate New York. Upstate New York. So yeah, it's I don't understand how the city is is operating. You have all these low paying jobs that it's and then you have a few high paying jobs, and you really got to know someone to get the high paying jobs. Yeah, surrounded by beautiful nature. Now when I go outside, instead of looking out the window, when I look out the window, I see nature instead of another building right in front of me. And the apartments are very small. That will be 20,000 a month. I mean 2,000 a month. 20,000. That's basically what it's coming to soon. Coming soon, 20,000 a month. That's what it feels like. Yeah, 2,000, you get a shoebox. That is so true. 2,000 in a shoebox, unless you're in a rent stabilized, and it's under 2,000. But there are rent stabilized that are above 2,000 that are also shoeboxes, which is crazy. But that's New York City. I guess that's like other cities though. You have like LA. LA is very expensive, but I think you get larger apartments. London has small apartments. That was like your hood. Yeah, one apartment could be 1,300, and the one next door could be 20,000. Basically. Chinatown, you might still be able to find a 1,300 SRO or something. SRO is single room occupancy. The bathroom is down the hall. You share it with other people. You might be able to find those for around 1,300. Probably not even. Probably 1,500. East Village and Greenwich Village has a few. Maybe Chinatown. I don't think. I mean, walking off the street, I don't think you can get a $1,300 studio in Manhattan unless it's an SRO. And then transfer south for a cheaper cost of living. Or even Pennsylvania. The thing with the post office is the way they pay, they don't factor in the cost of living at each zip code. They factor, let's say this position pays X amount of dollars. The same job in, let's say, Pennsylvania or further south, like South Carolina, will pay the same amount of money. They're not going to figure by zip code pays this. New York pays higher than South. No, it's New York, same pay as South Carolina pay. I'm drinking coffee in a Nestle Quick Cup, but it's coffee. It's actually instant coffee because I'm lazy. It's coffee, but it's instant coffee. It's actually organic fair trade coffee. That's instant. South Carolina has has low inflation rate. Yep, it does. I thought everywhere has an inflation rate. No, I'm not working today. The post office is closed today. The only people working at the post office are people who are not working at the post office. Like, you might have people working at the plant, you might have people doing transportation, but PSE that works at a post office, postal support employee, a clerk, a window clerk, there's no customers today. Juneteenth, exactly. So some people have off, other people don't. But I'm off. My job is off today. And I don't know if I'm going to get anything for the holiday since I just started. My official hire date was the 18th, but I didn't start till the 21st, as I explained earlier in the replay. But yeah, Juneteenth. Hey, they want to give me a day off. Good. Give me a day off. I wish I had a day off every day, but then there would be no work and no pay if it was every day. But yeah, South Carolina. I don't know if I'd want South Carolina. Maybe Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is low cost of living, and you're still near New York. No, I'm in the Sullivan County Catskills. So Albany would be a hike or a trek. That would be at least a few hours, I think. I don't know. I haven't mapped it out. But I've been seeing a lot of different post offices. Let's see, the orientation one, the one I work at. Orientation, the one I work at. Then the one I did the exam, as well as the classroom instruction. So that's 3. The one I'm working at this week for the on-the-job training, that's 4. Then there was one I worked at one day that's part of affiliated with my post office, that's 5. Then there was another one they wanted me to work a few days. I forgot to mention that earlier, to help with sorting the packages. So that's 6. So I've been to 6 different post offices. So yeah, I'm slowly learning a lot about the post office. That's a beautiful area. Yeah, it is. It is. It's interesting. It's quite an adjustment. Yesterday, will they have you work in New York City? That's beyond 50 miles. So the chances of me working beyond 50 in New York City is very unlikely. There would have to be a huge snafu for them to say, we need you to go to New York City. Plus, New York City has a lot of employees already. They can reallocate someone closer. Or unless I transferred there, but why would I transfer to New York City? It's just, everything there is so damn expensive. If you want a cup of coffee, it's like nearly $4 just at Starbucks. For a small coffee, it's like $3.60 or so, $3.65. I don't know. And then heck, if you want any like shot of anything in the coffee, like an extra shot of, I don't know, whatever, or if you want an extra shot of like espresso, or you want espresso shot or something, or if you want if you want soy milk or something, and they don't have it out, then they'll charge you, which they don't have the milks out anymore. They'll charge you extra for coffee, milk alternatives. That's your biggest concern. There is a Starbucks, but I'd have to drive like 20 minutes out of the way to get there. No bag of coffee in Walmart anywhere else for under $7. Yeah, I think bags of coffee at Walmart is 7 and up, not under. And heck, if that's up here, if you go to Walmart in the city, there is no Walmart in the city. You'd have to go outside the city. Have all the money saved, I guess you can buy an espresso machine. Yeah. And you're talking about yourself, that would have been Starbucks coffee. Yeah, you can't get $7 a bag of coffee at Walmart. At least not here. For Starbucks coffee? Oh. Damn, man, that was before inflation. I was thinking about joining the Walmart Plus just because of the 10 cents off at mobile. There's a lot of mobiles around here. And they're a shop in New York. Instead of, the other thing I noticed up here, if you go somewhere to get coffee, like there's a Panera Bread I went to, in the city, they have all these different milk substitutes. Because I'm supposedly not supposed to have milk or dairy, so I have high cholesterol. So I'm trying to cut down on that. It's real tough. It's a challenge. But what was I going to say about that? The Panera Bread up here, there's only regular milks and half and half, and there's no non-dairy alternative for their creamers. Then I go to Stewart's. It's cheaper than Dunkin'. I haven't tried Dunkin' because Dunkin's like Starbucks, just crazy expensive. Stewart shops, they're a New York and Vermont based company, and they have a whole bunch of different creamers, but none are non-dairy. So when I'm at home and I'm having coffee, at least I can have a non-dairy milk and try and cut down. I switched I used to get ice cream, regular ice cream. Now I'm getting non-dairy ice cream. So Ben and Jerry's has non-dairy ice cream. It's not that bad, actually. I was a bit surprised. It's actually really good. The heat, yeah. Good reviews of the Ozark Trailline bicycles they sell at Walmart. Ozark Trailline bicycles. I'll have to look at that. I have a bicycle from years ago when I was a child that's up here. I say never because I am a truck driver. If I have to do a delivery in New York, I stock up before I go to New York. Well, I'm not in the city, so you're more likely to come out here than it is the city. I think it's a Walmart brand. Oh, okay. Oh, kind of like Amazon has their own brands, Walmart has their own in-house brands. Ozark Trail. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I have a fairly large Walmart here. It's like a regular sized Walmart. It's not a tiny one. It's not one of those neighborhood markets, if you know what I mean. So they're actually they have some things that I find good there, but a lot of it. I really wish there was Trader Joe's. That's the one thing I miss, Trader Joe's. I try and eat healthy, and Trader Joe's had a lot of affordable, healthier items. Well, I don't smoke. Maybe that might help. Heck, I used to drink a lot. Now I don't even drink a lot. When I drank a lot, though, I had a friend who was a promoter, so I had a lot of comped drinks when I was drinking. So, and it used to be you just had to tip, and then towards the end of his promoting life, he started working in deals where he had the venue tip the host for bringing in like so many people. 10 years ago, cool, but he's no longer a promoter, and I'm no longer going out all the time. So there goes that, which is in a good way because I really think that was not too good for my health. But those were my 20s. So, yeah. 20s, you're on top of the world, The crazy thing, he was a promoter, yet he didn't drink. He had access to so many drinks, Didn't drink. I quit smoking 10 years ago. It was good. Saving so much money by not smoking. And especially now, the way the taxes gone up, and especially in New York, you're right. So, can't believe it's been 50 minutes we've been broadcasting. That's cool. But yeah, that's barely ever drink now. Now I have one, and I get up next day thinking I have the. Oh no. Save most of your money in medical bills. That's true, yeah. Smoking is not good for. Yeah, that's the one thing I worry about. What's going to happen with this health insurance? Apparently, because I was losing money. I was on past um, this past year, actually started in January 2024. I was making so little money, they put me on Medicaid. And when I joined the Postal Service, I found out it's going to cost to insure one person, it's like 60 something dollars every 2 weeks. I don't know the exact amount. I think it was like 62.50. It could be wrong. 62.50, 65, 60, somewhere along those lines for every 2 weeks. Then I had to call up New York State and tell them, look, I got a job. I'm going to be making around this much this year. Says, well, you don't. They say, well, you don't qualify for Medicaid anymore, but we have some good news for you. You're covered through the end of the year. And I found out I don't have to join my health insurance right now. I can join in the open enrollment period in mid-November. It's open from mid-November to mid-December. It's that one window. There's like a 4-week window I can rejoin for January 1st. So hopefully by January 1st of next year, I'll be career. That's my goal, because I got to spend out of my paycheck for health insurance. But I have free health insurance right now. Medicaid, they cover everything practically. They give if you don't work, they give you free health care in New York. But the moment you start working, the health insurance isn't as good, doesn't cover as much. You have to pay out of pocket for, co-pays, and it pays a percentage. But if you don't work, they give everything for free. I don't get it. That's I really don't get it. They should reward you for working, not penalize you. If you don't make much. Well, postal employees don't make much. You're not going to become a millionaire, multimillionaire as a postal employee. If it's under, I think it's 20,000 is Medicaid, under 20,000. Yeah, I think that's around what it's going to cost if you have two people working at the post office, like around 150. Actually, a week. No, it's like around 150 every 2 weeks. It's around 150, 160, I think, for two people. I'd have to look again. I really wasn't looking for two people. 3,000 deductible. Yeah, that's the thing. I think the plan I was looking at for the post office is 2,000 deductible, max 4,000. So it's around 3K. Yeah. They have the minimum and maximum, I think. So it's like 2K to 4K. I You need like a PhD to understand these plants. Well, it's nice for them to keep you alive. Yeah, basically. The reason why I picked the post office is it's a government job. I figure I'll do my 20 years. Heck, if I really loved working, I'd do it for 30, but I don't think I'd have the I don't think I'd have it in me to do another 20 years, 30 years. That's too crazy. I think as soon as I'm able to retire, I'm like, see ya. So, but who knows? It'll be a totally different world in 20 years from now. I can't think about it. Oh, yeah. There's medical billing. There you go. Yeah, it's like one thing I know is if they send you this is not a bill, just read it anyway. That's because that's your fighting chance if you don't agree with what the bill is going to be. so so yeah, and I got to get career sooner than later. So because right now I'm not earning anything towards a pension. I got to get career, but just get my foot in the door, and then hopefully it works out, and then I can move up. So so yeah, medical billing. I know nothing about that. I just know when it says this is not a bill, that's when you really got to worry. Yeah, that's true. I had one doctor. I went in for a the annual physical, right? They marked me down for surgery. It was going to be thousands of dollars, and it was like this is not a bill. And I argued it like twice. They sent me those, and I kept saying no. This was just a physical. It's like I have no problems giving you like $20, $40, but I'm not giving you thousands of dollars for a physical. So eventually they ended up saying, after like sending it twice and me disputing it twice, they just said, "Oh, just don't pay anything." And it just I was ready to pay like 20, $40, whatever it is for the blood work. I couldn't remember, I didn't have it in front of me, but this is not a bill. It's your explanation of benefits. No, when they send this is not a bill, it's basically saying what they're going to charge you. And you have to dispute if it's wrong. And that one time that it was really wrong. Some some consider removing stitches surgery. Yeah, but I wasn't removing stitches though. I was going for an annual physical. you know, I think I might have asked for a prescription for something, but it wasn't. There was no surgery involved. It was just him to diagnose, and uh, you didn't need a whatchamacallit. You didn't need a specialist to give you whatever it was. What they're charging, what they're covering, and what they're charging. Yes, it's called explanation of benefit. Okay, whatever. But at the same time, that's when it says this is not a bill. It's basically if you don't agree with it, you have to file right away that you don't agree with it in writing. But one thing I really got to cancel that I don't have up here is that gym membership. Planet Fitness charged me $10 a month for God knows when, and I can't remember the last time I went there. So I gotta cancel that. But I left my stamps elsewhere. I don't have stamps up here. I have to buy them. I have to buy a sheet of stamps. It's $13.60. I should buy some before price goes up. I should. There's a chance it goes up in July, which normally they go up in January, but okay, David, good seeing you. Have a blessed day. You too. Yeah, that's the thing. Supposedly stamps are going up soon. I don't know when. Hasn't been yet decided. I'll tell you one thing, they're gonna go up, not down. That's that's the one thing. Everything goes up, you know? That's the one thing. So I gotta cancel that. That's one easy thing. There is a Planet Fitness. I could switch it to Planet Fitness, but it's like 30-minute drive. But I'm not gonna drive out of my way 30 minutes just to exercise. They can do stuff at a gym too. I could go to the gym up here, but it's not convenient. I'd have to drive like 30 minutes out of my way. Doesn't make sense. Plus, I'm not really into the whole gym scene. But $10 a month, you don't think much of it. $15 a month, you do. But they're not charging me 15. I'm on the $10 plan. It's a grandfather plan. If I keep it, I can keep it. But if I'm not going, what's the use? They also got rid of the pizza, the bagels. They probably got rid of the Tootsie Rolls too. I don't know. I think they did. They used to be a selling point there. They'd also have pizza once a month, bagels once a month, Tootsie Rolls all the time. Oh, and this is a gym. Who knew? Planet Fitness. Everyone got, cutting back on everything. Shrinkflation goes up in price, gives you less portions. Just like the membership goes up in price, they give you less for it. Shrinkflation. Brilliant. But on that note, we'll see you all later. It's been over an hour. I'll talk to you all very soon.